Okay, so I am gonna head out and check out the cruise control on this bike. Now, I still don't have the radar turned on at all, and the reason why I don't have the radar turned on is because Ducati apparently does not have approval from the United States to turn on the radar. So even though I paid for it and I have it on the bike, it will not work. Who knows how long that's going to be. But in the meantime, I have been using the cruise control. I'm going to show you a few things about it, but let's take a look at some of the minimums and maximums here. First of all, the maximum cruising speed that this can be set at is 160 kilometers an hour or 98 miles an hour. I will never do that. I have set it to 85, but 98 seems a bit high for cruise control. Not even sure why they do that. Maybe for some of those Autobahn people over there in Germany. Not too sure. All right. Now, the minimum cruising speed is completely dependent on what gear you're in. As you can see here on the chart that they provide, first and second gear, the minimum is 18. So it seems like the absolute minimum is going to be 18. If you are in third gear, you can take this to 22 miles an hour, otherwise known as 35 kilometers an hour. Fourth gear, 40 kilometers an hour, or 25 miles per hour. And fifth, as everyone can read, I'm assuming, 45 kilometers an hour equal to 28. And of course, sixth gear, you can go as low as 31 miles an hour. I don't know who is going to be anything past really first or second gear at 18 miles an hour, to be quite honest with you, or why someone would want to have cruise control in the 35 to 45, anywhere, anything under 50 kilometers an hour. I don't even really see 50 kilometers an hour as to why someone would want to have the cruise control on. But anyway, we're going to go out and we're going to check it out. Before I head out, let's take a look at what stops the cruise control while you're riding. Number one, whether you brake manually, and that's going to be the front or rear brake. If you turn the throttle hand grip forward from the released hand grip position, that will shut it down. And in addition, it says speed control is interrupted if one of the following events occur. If the clutch lever is pulled in for a long time, that makes sense. If neutral is engaged, makes sense. If vehicle speed of 112 is exceeded, well, I find that to be interesting because you can't set it past 98 miles an hour, but if you get to 180 kilometers an hour or 112 miles an hour, it shuts off the cruise control. So kind of don't understand that one, and I don't think I'm going to test that out on 95 on the highway. Now, also says if you have prolonged ABS or traction control intervention, and here's another really cool one. In case of a lean angle exceeding 50 degrees. So I'm going to assume it thinks that if you have a lean angle in excess of 50 degrees, you probably are or are about to wreck the bike if you have cruise control on. It's about the only thing that I could think of. All right. And in those conditions, it says that the speed in the cruise control icon turns to the gray color. All right, let's go out and take a peek. Hey, Rainbow here. So now we are outside. I'm doing like 31, 32 miles an hour. Right here, you see the control. You just turn it on and you get the green right in there that comes on, lets you know. And then the bottom is set, the top's resume. It's really simple. Now this plus and minus over here, this is when you have the radar turned on, which I don't. So these are useless buttons right now. Right now, to increase or decrease, it's all right there. So even at 30 miles an hour, 29, it took it. I can set it, and essentially my right hand is free. Not the best idea, but unbelievable. You can set this to 29 miles an hour in third gear. Kind of crazy, to be quite honest with you. This is, I don't think there's even cars out there that will do a cruise control at such a low speed. Even in my Honda CR-V is like 45 miles an hour or something like that. All right, let's get this thing off. Let's go down to the highway and have a little bit of fun during hopefully the end of rush hour. I'm kind of hoping. Anyway, as you can see, or you can't, 4,254 miles in 4 weeks with the Ducati Multistrada V4S. Have a very rare Florida twisty here coming up. And we're going to just try this out and see what it does. Now, we already saw the minimums. I really don't see any reason to do the minimums, but I want to show you a few things that I have noticed about this, and hopefully the highway is kind of not as busy, so I can kind of show you. I'm not going to show you the high-end speed because I'm not going to get a ticket for doing 112 or 98 miles an hour to set it, but we shall see what happens here. All right, looking clear. All right, so before I get on the highway, let me go to 5th gear at 60 miles an hour, turn it on, hit set, and I'm good. Now, I'm doing 61. Let's see, I wanted it at 60. I just turn it down. You can turn it down fast. It'll slow you down fast. 5. You can turn it up fast. And it'll take it and sets it to 60, and it stays at 60. And it's a regular cruise control. It's what you would expect. Now, if I tap the brake, it shuts it off. Okay, I want to resume, I have to hit the plus sign, and as you can see, it's because of the engine braking is so insane on this motorcycle, it slowed me down like immediately 15 miles an hour. That's one way to turn it off. Another way is if I move forward with the throttle, it shuts it off. I'll hit resume and it goes back on again. All right, and I'm gonna come over here, damn it, and we're gonna continue once this light turns green for me, now that I've missed it and I gotta sit here for the next 5 minutes. Okay, I'm not going to go to Miami. I'm going to go towards West Palm Beach. I'm hoping that the traffic will be less. So, and it's not looking that way. All right, we'll see what happens here. Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to close this and hope that it's going to give me some less wind noise. Alright, traffic's not great, but it's not horrible here. Alright, let's do something normal here. Let's say we want to do 70, right? We're going to turn it on and click set. And we set it at 70. It'll maintain 70. What you'll find out is it'll vary a little bit. If you hit a little incline, a little decline, it'll increase and decrease, usually within 1 to 2 miles an hour. Now, as far as I'm concerned, being in South Florida, where everything is flatter than a pancake, I get about a 1 mile an hour in the most cases, about a 1 mile an hour difference in speed. Okay, so this thing will hold it for hours. I have gone almost 200 miles between changing tanks and just had it on the whole time. Now what's nice is that, let's say I want to go around this car, although I have no reason to right now, and then it'll okay, now they're going faster than me. All right, so I could speed it up, and then I'm going to hit set. Right now I'm going to 80 miles an hour, so it didn't knock it off because I throttled to increase speed. If I rolled forward, it would have shut it off. but I increased speed and then I hit set again, and now it's on at about 79. I see myself coming up on this car, so I'm going to drop it down a little bit just to play around, not how I would normally drive, but just to play around, and it's still alright. Now I'm going to go around this guy. Now we'll put it in 6th gear, what the hell, and just go. Now if I want to go back to this speed, I can, but here's the thing, if I want to go back to that 73 that it was set at, I'll get around this guy, okay, I'll come in, I'll just slowly roll off the throttles, otherwise I don't want that engine braking to kick in. Slowly roll off the throttle, and look what it's doing. It's going to take me right back to that 73, 74 mile an hour range, and that's it. So it's just really like any other cruise control. Now, I have found some things. Watch your feet. If you accidentally just barely tap the rear brake because you're moving your feet around, it will shut it off. And if you're in 6th gear like this, shit. So that was a good one. So that guy needed to come over. I'm give my cruise control, and the guy alongside me didn't give a fuck. So anyway, so you slowly roll off and then go back to your speed that you had. If I don't like it, I'll hit resume and it'll go ahead on, right? Now, once you shut it off, when you turn it back on and hit resume, it'll actually remember where you were last. All right, or it sets it. It's like you don't have to hit set for some reason. For some reason, it's like you can hit resume or set. And I'm really struggling here because this inconsistent speeds at the end of rush hour here, trying to find something that I can do. All right, so let's shut it off. I'm going to turn it on, hit resume, and it hit resume or set, it does the same damn thing. All right, it doesn't seem to matter whether it's resume or set. But at this point, you can slow down, you can speed up by using the controls. I found this out by accident when I was just going fast with my thumb. I turned it on and I hit resume and it worked. And lo and behold, I don't know that there's a difference initially when you turn it on between resume or set, because it obviously works in both. All right, so I'm going to turn it off, but grab the throttle. Again, if you're going to turn it off, grab the throttle. All right, I'm going to show you what happens. Let's say I'm going at 80 miles an hour, and in 6th gear. All right, 6th gear, 80 miles an hour, and I just, don't have my hand on, or I'm not thinking about it, and I hit off. It just launches you forward. Like, you see how quickly it just took 10 miles an hour off? The engine braking on here is kind of crazy, to be quite honest with you, and the faster you go and the worse it is, which makes sense. But I just wanted to show you a little bit about the cruise control and some of the little quirky things. But the biggest thing that I can stress is to slowly roll up or roll down to where you want to be, because the bike will take you up at a nice pace, but because of the engine braking, it really stops you short. So if you're going to shut it off or hit, please grab a hold of the throttle and kind of be ready to give it some gas. So that, how do you like that? Gas so that you can slow down at a slower pace, huh? Pretty interesting. Alright, I don't really think there's anything else to go over here, and I don't want to waste your time, so I think I'm going to just turn around and head home and get something to eat. And if there's anything else I could think of on the way, I'll go ahead and show it to you. Again, it's real simple. I just wish that I had the dynamic cruise control with the radar, but unfortunately I do not. So these buttons will be useless for you until, and if you're used to cruise control in cars, you'll have it with this one. Anyway, that's Rainbow, and I am out of here.